back with more Inside the Green Room. Danny Green, Harrison Sanford, and we are joined by the 2022 Rising Star Challenge participant, Tyrese Maxey. Now, before he joined us, before we actually pressed the record button, Danny asked if there was any trades that we need to talk about in the show. And then Tyrese said, well, you didn't hear that Tyrese and Danny got traded. It's that time of year, guys.
Yeah, and this is when you know you made it, when your name is in the trade talks. When you're not in trade talks, you're not really, have made it yet. So Tyrese, I know even though you're not going anywhere, but when you hear your name, it can be stressful. I know it can be a little awkward, but consider yourself a somebody in this league if other people want you. So congrats on the Rising Stars. Congrats on being part of the trade rumors, if you are in any, which I don't think you are.
Nah, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. I got good vets around me that help me every day. You know what I mean?
Word, guys like myself. Did you think that in year 2 that you would be where you are right now and be invited to a Rising Stars Challenge?
I think confidence level wise, yeah. I mean, you know me for, a little bit loud, that, my confidence doesn't waver just because of, the work that I put in. But I know that this opportunity will come to play this many minutes and, be a part of a championship contender right away. No, but like I said, just my confidence and my preparation has kept me ready. So
yeah. Go ahead, H. My bad.
Yeah, so that's the interesting thing, because I know you were working out with Ben this past summer, and you don't know how it was going to pan out, right? So I know you probably worked together with him, like as if you guys are going to be on the court together. And if you're on the court together, your role is vastly different from what it might be or what it is now. I wonder how were you envisioning yourself as a basketball player this summer when you were working out with Ben?
Well, yeah, I mean, we didn't work out as much together as people think. I mean, we played in a couple of pickup runs together just because being in LA, being in the same agency, working out with the same, trainer. But and I always knew to play on this team with guys like Joel, Tobias, and Ben, preparing that he'll be back. I had to, if I was going to be able to get on the floor, I had to be able to play defense, and I had to be able to knock down wide open threes because all 3 of those guys create wide open shots for us. Joel's always getting double teamed. Ben Simmons is always in transition, getting to the paint, spraying out the shooters. And, Tobias causes a lot of attention as well. So I know last year it was times that I couldn't hit wide open shots. And, I think that one had to do with just me being nervous. And I knew that if I didn't make these shots, that I wouldn't play. And then, I just wanted to work extremely hard. I had motivation from guys like Danny, who told me who basically said I couldn't shoot last year. We had a conversation. That's funny. I didn't even,
we had a debate. I didn't say he couldn't shoot. So we had a
Danny
debate.
Said I couldn't shoot. So Danny said I couldn't shoot threes. So, every time I went to the gym this summer, I had to make sure that I came back this year to let Danny know that I could shoot.
So interestingly enough, we just played the Bulls. And a part of this debate was Kobe White, Carolina kid. And last year, Kobe White played a lot. Before they got a lot of people, he put up pretty big numbers. We had a comparison between Tyrese and Kobe. And I just said he couldn't shoot as good as Kobe could. So he took that as I told him he couldn't shoot. So now this year, he want to come back and prove, which is good motivation. I love it. He's shooting at a high clip right now. And he's taking it very confidently. Because every time he's open, he'd pump fake to his 1 dribble floater, 1 dribble pull up. I'm like, yo, just shoot the 3, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can shoot it. So, we had guys on our team as confident as him, I think would be a ton better. But, we have some guys that are slowly getting there and taking through. I'm glad he's confidently taking the 3-ball now. But, we had a small debate about it. And not that he couldn't shoot, that he just couldn't shoot as someone else, which right now he's having a great year. And obviously Kobe's had some injuries. But he's up there now as one of the top better point guard shooters as a youngster.
Can I get a picture painted, please? Where was the setting? Who was involved in this?
This was
conversation?
Probably in Chicago last year.
It was in Chicago last year after the game. And one of our teammates said, he was like, Tyrese, what would you do with Kobe White's minutes? And if you was in the same situation. And I was like, I think I averaged 20. And Danny was not in the conversation. That's what really made me upset. He was not in the conversation, but he was right there next to
They asked me. We all joined in.
Yeah,
George was a part of the team or something. Tobias was in it. And they're like, yo, what do you think, Tyrese? I was like, he doesn't shoot as great from 3 as Kobe. So he probably averaged, between 14 and 17 or something like that. I said, if he shot the 3-ball, he might get to the free line. But I said, if he shot 3-ball better, maybe, 20. But I see him averaging 14 to 17. And he's like, oh, so now I can't shoot. I'm like, bro, I didn't say that. I said Kobe is a really good shooter. I'm saying he's shooting very well from 3. And obviously Tyrese has proved me wrong. This was a year ago in Chicago. Now we're coming back to Chicago, just passed. And he's shooting off the pick and roll, right behind the 3 ball, right behind the pick and roll, shooting 3 pull-ups and making it, and proving me wrong. So I'm loving it each and every day that I see it.
That is the appropriate time to put the battery in the back. And that actually leads me to a quote that you used to say often last year, Tyrese. And I always it's a great quote, but it's also could be BS if you don't actually show the proof. So you always used to say, I want to get 1% better every day. And before you follow up on that, Danny, when you heard him say that, what were your thoughts? Because Danny, you've played with a bunch of guys. You've been in the league for a long time. And a lot of guys say they want to get better. A lot of guys have a lot of great quotes about getting better, but they don't actually put in the work. So when you heard that, I want to know your reaction, and then Tyrese, follow up, please.
I knew that he would get there. Like, he's a guy that I have to fight to keep out the gym when it's like rest days. It's like, bro, you're playing 40 plus minutes night in, night out, and we don't have many points. Like, you're the only point guard right now that we have. So these days that we have off, our rest days, you don't need to come in. But he just, he pushes the envelope. He has to get his shots in, his free throws, or shooting some threes. He's nonstop. He's a workaholic. He's there early. He gets out. He leaves late. But he's there every day, regardless of how many minutes he plays, or if he doesn't play, or if he plays the whole game, he's going to be there. So I have to fight with him to get him out the gym. But I do recall having a conversation with him early in the season. His goal was to shoot, I think, like maybe 37 to 38 or something like that. It might have, I don't know what it was. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I said, just shoot. I said, shoot for 40. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He said, you shoot for 40. I said, you might end up on 38. It happened that way. So, he said, for me, I always try to shoot for 50 or 45, and then hopefully land on, a little bit above 40. So right now he's shooting 40. He was shooting like 41, 42 at one point. And I'm sure it's higher than what I remember us, discussing at that point. I think it was like 38 or 37. I don't know what it was. But, if he keeps it up, I said he's right where we need him to be, especially for playoffs. We're going to need that perimeter threat, not just from the outside position, but from our point guard position. We don't just need him in the dunker and making plays, but it is challenging. He has a lot on his plate, and he does have to facilitate. He does have to feed Joe. He does have to play the dunker spot, which Ben played last year. So he's learning how to be a big as well. And also, penetrate and kick, and also knock down a 3-point shot. So he has a lot on his plate. And I've been meaning to ask you, after you follow up on this, the next question of the plate. So I'm gonna let you answer first, and then I'm gonna ask you the question.
Yeah, I mean, with the 1% better thing, it's been something that my dad, kind of, laid out for me when I was younger. And he told me, I remember he had a conversation with me when I was like 3rd grade about getting better. And my favorite player was Dwayne Wade. And I tell Danny this all the time, which I can't stand Danny because he was out there trying to block Dwayne Wade's shot and hit threes and knock Miami, make Miami lose. I mess with him all the time about it. But, my dad would ask me, like, do you want to be as good as Dwayne Wade or better? And I would always tell him, yeah. I mean, that was my goal. And he was like, as a young kid, you always want to, when you go to the gym, you don't want to work out. You just want to go play, have fun, play horse, and, just, do little things like that. You don't want to do drills and do stuff that I'm saying, little stuff like that. So, and it's just, and it just stuck with me. It stuck with me since I've been a little kid, and I really do mean it when I say I want to get 1% better every single day. And in the summertime, and I think I took it to another level. And I was working out multiple times a day, early in the morning, 6 a.m. My thing about the 6 a.m. thing is psychological. Like, I feel like if I'm getting up before everybody else while they're still sleeping, I'm getting the workout in, and I'm beating everybody to the punch. So, it may not mean anything to a lot of people, but, it psychologically, it does something to my confidence. So, but yeah, I mean, that's really it. The 1% better thing it really means something to me, and I'm going to keep sticking by it.
Yeah, you can see all the results coming, man. Who knew it happened this fast, the opportunity. But the question I have for you, I know how much Doc throws at you, how much we throw at you. What is the most challenging with being a point guard for the Philadelphia 76ers?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the yelling. And everybody getting on me. And I understand I'm the youngest player on the court, and it happens. It's how it works. I'm still a rookie to y'all guys because y'all have all vets for the most part. That's in the rotation. So, But I think the hardest thing for me was at the beginning of the year was being able to tell people no. Was being able to tell people no. Like it was times where Joel is, we know Joel is MVP caliber player, and he needs the ball a lot. But it was times where he would just run to the post and we wouldn't run a certain play, and I wouldn't say anything. I just let it go. And I think as of now, like now where we are today, my communication has gotten better. It's been like, nah, Joe, we're not running that right here. You know what I'm saying? Let's get somebody else involved. Let's get Tobias involved right here. Let's, run a little action for Seth, or let's just open up the floor for everybody in this particular possession. But I think that's really where my confidence in that. And I think that's one goes to just the work that I put in. And the other thing is just the relationship I have with my teammates. I think I really do appreciate everybody because I feel like they're confident in me. And when you feel like your teammates have the confidence, in you that you have in yourself, then that takes your confidence to a whole nother level. And that's really, 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 really helped me.
Danny, I would assume a lot of your confidence comes from the fact that Tyrese is such a hard worker, so that even if things go wrong, he's going to work to improve it. I would also wonder, and I've heard that one of the bigger challenges for you, Tyrese, as a point guard, or maybe for the entirety of the team, is actually understanding the play by the time you leave the huddle.
Yeah, that's not just him. That's for all of us. Because those who are tuning in, the fans, there's a lot more behind just running up and down the floor and, X's and O's. You do have to know your personnel. You do have to, and we do actually run plays and draw stuff up. But with the longer timeouts, it's harder. It's weird because so much is going on. I feel like when we draw the play up earlier in the timeout, and there's so much time that has passed, by the time we get to the floor, a lot of us have forgotten what the hell we're running. So we're out there, and I'm like, Tobias will come like, what are we running? I'm just like, shit, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, I think one of these, and I'm like, shit, I don't know. I know I'm in the corner. That's all I know I'm doing. So, but also because when Doc draws it up, he is a good X's and O's guy. When he also draws it up, if you don't watch it throughout the whole process, if you catch just the end of it, it looks like complete chaos on a board, just scribble scrabble all over the fucking place. And there's a picture that I think maybe A. Subers might have posted, or somebody, the Philly Sixers posted it, where Tyrese is looking at the board and he looks confused as hell. And his face says it all for all of us half the time when we look at the board, if we're not paying attention. Because his face was like, what the hell are we, what is that?
It's just like sometimes, like you said, the timeouts sometimes like 3 minutes and 15 seconds. So when he gets done drawing up the play, it's still 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the in the timeout. And then sometimes we just happen to be on defense. So then now we're on defense, and the whole defensive possession goes by. Let's say we get a stop, we run in fast break and score, then they come down and we stop them again. And then, or they score, and now it's time for us to run the ATO. So now at least 5 minutes have went by, and like I'm like, oh snap! I have no idea what the play was. So, but like he said, sometimes, like he said, Coach Doc has great X's and O's, has great ATOs, and we execute very, very often off of them. And sometimes like if you don't pay exactly 100% attention, then you may miss something. You may miss where you go. You may miss where you if you're going left or right. And in this particular moment, I was extremely confused, and I just had a face of like, wait, am I supposed to go left or right? And then I don't know how they caught me on the bench looking like that, but
when we get the picture, y'all will see it. But it's also just we have ADD. We forget shit. When we leave the huddle, we're like, oh, because some other things might come up in huddle. We don't just discuss the play. We'll discuss the play. Then Dan will be like, oh, we're doing this on defense. We may be trapping. We may be doing this. Maybe like, oh, look for that. Yo, so-and-so, I was open in the corner. Hey, when I X out, you go over here. Then we get about on the court. Then you're like, oh, shit. What are we running? You know what I'm saying? Like, and the play might be for Tobias. And he'll be like, yo, what are we running? And I'm like, bro, it's for you. What are you like, oh, okay. Like a lot of us forget it. Except like, what are we running? Like, damn. Yeah, we mess it up sometimes. But, that's the life of being in a huddle and being a basketball player. So many plays, so many, actions happen in the huddle, outside the huddle, and on the game. But by the time you get to the ATO, you're probably going to forget. But also, if you're not paying attention to that board, it'll look like Chinese. It'll look like a different language to you if you're not, watching or paying close.
Yep.
One of the things that I've noticed from watching from afar and seeing up close and just having some conversations with guys on the team, Danny, correct me if I'm wrong. So Tyrese's job is to be the point guard. His job is to make sure defenders respect him from the 3-point line, use his speed when he can in transition opportunities. And I also feel, Danny, and as somebody who's been in the league for 13 years and you're with veteran guys like a Joel Embiid, a Tobias Harris, I also feel like another part of Tyrese's job is to bring that youthful exuberance, that joy. If you look at Tyrese's Instagram feed, it's a bunch of smiles, and which is, everybody likes to look their best for Instagram, but it looks like the joy that he's bringing to the team
for sure
has helped out, or is a part of his role, because everybody plays a role in different.
A big part of it, and that's him being a great young point guard that he is. Tobias would say the positive vibrations. We need to keep the waves and the vibrations going in a good smooth motion. So with him, with the positivity, it helps a ton, because there's a lot of yelling, like you said, there's some screaming, there's some tension, there's a lot of frustration with defense of not talking, or the ball not moving, or certain guys not getting the ball at certain times. But you see Tyrese bouncing up and down the court, running around, smiling and shit. It brings you back to the purity of the game and realizing things are gonna be okay. It's just gonna be cool. And Tyrese's gonna look out. Usually he's the one that probably find me in the corner. He'll get to Tobias a play. And he's got, even though he's still figuring it out, he's done a great job of keeping everybody even keel and balanced.
One thing I also saw Tyrese on the Sixers Instagram account, there was one, I don't know where it started. Maybe you know where it started. There was a phrase that was, okay, good. Danny, you'll tell us the story then.
I think you do too.
Okay.
What phrase?
I don't. It had a picture of you, and in all capitals, it said the franchise. And I was like, oh. Yeah. Like, well, hey, you're a great young player, but even I was like, well, damn. That's high honors. Where did it come from?
We was in the locker room one day after a game. I can't remember who we played. I don't remember who we played. Maybe I think it was Boston. We had just played Boston. And it was like maybe 2 weeks before, Joel posted a picture. And I was in the picture, and I was messing with him. I'm like, hey, man, you're going to post a picture. You got like 5 million followers. You could at least tag me in the picture. Like, I'm like, man, like, I want little followers or something, man. But just messing with him like that. I go get in the shower, and I come back, and he's like searching for a picture. Like, bro, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, bro, you calling me out? I gotta post a picture. I gotta tag you. So this man, I'm like, so, okay, whatever. I'm like, bro, you good? Like, it's cool. I was really just joking with you. This man finds a picture and just posts like the franchise on it. And I'm like,
big dog. Franchise handed over the keys, handed the franchise over to him. That's how it came about.
Yeah, and now it's like people walking around and they literally are calling me the franchise, and I just put my hood on, duck my head. Like, oh my goodness. Like, what is this man like? And Joel Embiid is Joel Embiid. He means a lot to this franchise. So, what he says, people, kind of follow right behind it. And, the fans love it. So,
yeah, a big dog tagged him. So once big dog tagged him, it's stamped. Signed, sealed, delivered, and now he's the franchise. So that's where it started, bro. It started with big dog.
Tyrese, I'm sure you've seen, and obviously you've heard why Danny is a veteran in the league for so long. And as somebody I covered those Cavalier teams, and I covered the Raptors and Lakers teams that won championships. And Danny probably is the same way. Danny's probably desensitized to when you guys win regular season games. And from what I've heard, there are debates on the plane, on some of the team gatherings. There are actual debates going on if the team is actually playing well, despite the fact that you're still winning games. Where have you landed on those heated team debates?
I'm a little bit, I kind of stay out of them. I mean, I'm there and I put my 2 cents in, every now and then. But I play a lot of minutes on this team, and I have a role on this team, but I'm still only 21, and it's my second year in the league, and I haven't got to play a lot of, a lot of significant basketball as far as on the NBA level. So, and winning in the NBA is hard. Don't get me wrong. Winning a basketball game is hard in the NBA because, at the end of the day, these are still professional basketball players, no matter who you're playing. No matter if their top 2 guys are out. you're still going against professional basketball players who get paid to play basketball. So yeah, I stay out of those. Danny, he always puts his 2 cents in though. He's gonna be adamant about what he says, and he has points. He has valid points because he's a 3-time champ. He's been in this league for 14, 13 years, and he knows what winning basketball looks like. He knows what the right way to play is because he's played for great coaches, multiple great coaches, around this league, and he's played with multiple great teams that have played the right way. So if he's telling us, this right here is good basketball, this right here is not good basketball, he's going to let it be known. And he's going to tell us, and, we're going to, I normally listen to what Danny says because, like I said, he's 14 years in, 3-time champ, and he's really good at his job.
Yeah, he's a listener. He's more of a guy that's on standby. He'll give a sense of how he thinks we're playing, but he doesn't really chime in from when we're having our debates on whether or not we're playing winning basketball or team basketball. He does a good, and a lot of the young guys are just listening, but you see them soaking it up and they understand, sometimes even though we win, it may not have been a great team win or team basketball win. And even though we lost, we might've played well, better teams. Like I don't mind us losing if we play in the right way. And I'm sure Doc will say the same thing. So yeah, those are some of the debates sometimes. And that's what makes it frustrating because, some guys are still learning it or understanding it or trying to figure out or disagreeing or thinking that, this is okay, or just because we won that it covers all, mistakes or how, how we're playing. No, that's not the case. You want to prepare for those moments by playing with better habits. And that's regardless of win or loss, you want to have better habits. And, we have a lot of those, not a lot of them, but we have them, every so often. We have great talks about it and then, discussing of how we're going to attack it. And I think it always is healthy for us because it allows us to hold each other accountable and then go out the next day and to challenge ourselves to play as a team, as a group. And then normally we do come out and start playing together more, be more cohesive, and you can see it on the floor from start to finish.
And I think, and I'm butt in real quick, but like Danny said, the respect level that we have with each other and how comfortable we are with each other. I feel like the vibe of the team morale is really good. And we can talk to each other. We can have these, debates. We can have these arguments. Jordan and Tobias can stand up on the plane like they were yesterday, screaming at each other about, it wasn't even about basketball. It's about a different subject. But, what I'm saying? They can have these debates and then we can sit down and laugh at each other the rest of the plane ride. And and I think that's extremely important when it comes to chemistry and playoff time, just because from what I've seen, it's you against the world in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. It's your team, your teammates, and yourself and your organization against everybody else. And it doesn't matter. I mean, whoever's in that locker room, that's all you got. And you have to be able to lean on your brother. You have to be able to lean on someone, in the organization, on the team, because you never know when the playoffs come. You could be having a bad series or you can have a bad game. You got to know that, okay, my brother got my back. Someone else is going to step up big right here in this series or this game. And, I think that's huge. To have each other's back like that is a big deal.
For sure. And to be able to have hard conversations and have these debates and have them healthily, it allows us to hold each other accountable and criticize each other without having any tension. We're all doing it for good cause, and we understand and appreciate each other's and respect each other at the end of the day. So it's good to have those healthy conversations and debates.
And then finally, Reese, we talked about this beforehand. Can you tell everybody why, whenever Danny decides to post on Instagram, you insist on putting his name in all caps in the caption?
Because I was, of course, I was observing everything last year because it's my first year in the NBA. So our announcer, every time he said Danny Green's name when he was calling him out, at first I thought he was just going to say it like that when he was calling him out. He always was like, Danny Green, 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 Green. And it's like a long emphasis on it. And I was like, dang, that's a cool way to call him out. And then he starts hitting threes, and he says it every time he hits a three or scores a bucket or does anything good on the court. I'm like, so every time he posts something, I've gotten lazy to where I've only just do Danny Green. It's not, I don't do the whole thing, but yeah, I always mess with him about it.
Puts it in caps. That's how they all greet me now. A lot of them will greet me and address me that way now. They just start yelling at me like I'm an announcer. Danny, great. I'm like, yo, what up, man? Sam coming, a bunch of everybody greets me that way now. But it is a cool way.
It sounds like the vibes are good. Also, before we started recording, I also kept on singing to myself, it's Friday again, or today,
certain
or tonight,
songs
because George will stop.
It's Friday. It's
And Saturday, Sunday, what? Every time.
That one, that's a trigger. And then, of course, our goal is to hear 10, 9, 8, 76. So when we hear those songs, man, those are the songs that get us right. So, we want to hear the 76er song. We want to hear the Friday song. Of course, George scores a bucket. But there's a couple songs that trigger us, and that puts us in a really good mood. So we got to make sure that we hear the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then, of course, 10, 9, 8, 76er.
DG, I think I've heard Maxey sing it once in a press conference. You got the lyrics for the 10, 9, 8, 7?
Do I have all the lyrics? If you play it, I know most
Clap
of them.
your hands.
Everybody from
Philadelphia.
76ers.
Yeah, we got it plays so much that like if you like as soon as the song comes on, everybody knows like from the team has to know the lyrics. Like you just have to hear the tone.
There's actually a clip of me after Tyrese got the breakaway layup. I was about to dunk. I thought he was gonna throw it to me. I was about to dunk it. When we played, who was it? Overtime. Memphis. Yes, Memphis. We were both running together. I knew we were winning anyway. We was about to win. Layup. And you hear the song come on. The song comes on like maybe before he laid it up. And he's yelling at the fans. The song comes on. You can see me in the background dancing to the song. I got to find the clip for you, but it's hilarious, bro. You hear the clap your hands. Everybody gets super hyped.
Yeah. When we hear that, it was a good night or a good day, whatever it was.
Yep.
For sure. Tyrese, it's been a pleasure. And as somebody who we've done this show a couple of times now, Danny probably knows I tremendously respect guys who actually got better. Like I remember Pascal Siakam when Danny was in Toronto was one of my favorite players, not just because he was good, but because he actually dedicated himself to get better. So you show a great amount of respect for the craft, and I appreciate that. And also you are a joy to pleasure and a pleasure to speak with. So thank you for joining us, my friend.
I appreciate y'all having me. Last story I'll tell before I leave. Danny Green got on me. I forgot to tell this story. Danny Green got on me my rookie year, mid-season. He never told me before the season started, like, hey, Rook, you got to get donuts before a shoot around. He just comes up at me at one random shoot around, like, yo, Tyrese, where the donuts at? I'm like, donuts at? What are you talking about? I don't know. Are they upstairs?
It's so crazy. They didn't know. They had no vets here, so nobody knew about donuts. And I'm like, y'all don't do donuts? Where the fuck the donuts at? Whatever. Rookie's supposed to get the donuts. They had no idea what I was talking about. I'm like, y'all
had
don't.
No clue.
Because none of the vets before them, like I guess Joel didn't have anybody Ben had nobody to make them get donuts. So it's supposed to be rookie duties, and they had no idea. So at the end of the year, now rookies this year finally get us donuts. But now
I was confused.
So they didn't make him carry a book bag. He got away with so many things. Like the rookie hazing is just non-existent now. Obviously, it's not supposed to be, but any rookie duties have became non-existent. He didn't carry a book bag. They got away with so much murder. But the rookies we got now are pretty good ones, and we got them doing quite a bit this year.
Yeah, they did. They're doing way more than what I did last year, but we're not going to talk about that.
I'll be tuned in. Good luck the rest of the season. Good luck in the playoffs. And secretly, now I'm kind of hoping that you guys play the Bulls and Kobe White gets a bunch of minutes.
That matchup, you looking for the Kobe White Tyrese Maxey matchup?
It wasn't
no beef, but it would be an exciting matchup. Good luck in the Rising Stars game. Sophomore game, right? Sophomore rookie game. And then,
yep.
Are you doing the challenges? Are you doing Are you doing the dribble challenge? No, you're not doing. I don't
plan on it. They should put you in it.
Nah,
after that step back three you just hit.
Nah, bro, I'm good on that. Good luck with All-Star Weekend, my guy.
You couldn't pay Danny to go to Cleveland. You couldn't pay Danny to go to Cleveland for All-Star.
They tried. I almost thought about it, but I'm enjoying my All-Star break, man. You enjoy yours too. Good luck in Cleveland, and I'll see you soon, of course. Appreciate the time, big dog. Everybody that's watching, read, rate, subscribe, review. H, take us home, King.
You just did.
Okay.